Protein. It's one of the most important yet also misunderstood macronutrients in all of the fitness world. In this episode, we're going to discuss what it actually does, how much of it that you need, and do you really need as much as the guys at the stores will tell you. So to begin, what exactly is protein? Well, protein is one of the three macronutrients that make up a calorie. Those three macronutrients are carbs, proteins, and fat. Now, the difference between the three is that all three of them contain hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. However, protein contains nitrogen, and that's what really separates it from the other two and why it's so important to get enough, because nitrogen is what we need to grow muscle tissue. If you're not in a positive nitrogen balance, you will not be able to grow muscle tissue. In fact, what I see happen very often are people that go on very low calorie diets. I'm talking 1,100 or 1,000 calories or less a day, and they just do a lot of cardio and running, and they might lose 20 or 30 pounds, but when you look at how much of that was muscle mass compared to fat, it's all out of whack. They're losing a lot of muscle, and much of that is because they're in a negative nitrogen balance. So you have to have a positive nitrogen balance for your body to grow. With that said, let's say you're one of the ladies that comes into the studio, and like 90% of the time, you tell me that one of your goals is to shape your butt. You want to get that nice round ass, you want your legs to be curvy, you want your shoulders to be defined. Well, cardio isn't going to do that, and eating very low starvation diets won't help as well. You have to be in that positive nitrogen balance, but you also have to be lifting weights so that you stimulate protein synthesis. That's really what muscle growth comes down to, is having sufficient protein so that you're in a positive nitrogen balance to build muscle, but also protein is made up of amino acids. Now, many of these amino acids our body can create on its own. However, there are essential amino acids that we have to get from food intake. Three being leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And that's why it's very important that not only are you eating whole proteins through actual food, but also getting a high quality protein supplement as well. If you've ever flipped through a bodybuilding magazine or been on Instagram or website, you're gonna be told that you need 300 grams of protein a day, and that's really ridiculous. I think that it's important first to define what your goals are. And the fact is, unless you're trying to be a 250-pound ripped bodybuilder and you're not taking anabolic steroids, your body can't absorb that much protein to begin with. So you really don't need that much. However, the general guidelines for protein intake for just a normal, healthy, average human is around 0.65 grams per pound of body weight. I've found over the years that let's just take a female with a regular metabolism who's lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week. They're getting their cardio in. They're probably going to need more around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. You don't want to go too high in your protein intake, because what happens is when your protein intake gets too high and you've got too much nitrogen, your body will actually start to break down calcium, and that can lead to osteoporosis and other really bad things down the road. So that's why it is kind of dangerous to listen to people that tell you you need 2 grams per pound of body weight or something ridiculous like that. Again, unless you're competing in a contest and you're taking anabolic steroids, your body can't even process that much protein, let alone absorb it. So hope you learned something from this about protein. The main thing is make sure you're getting it in. Don't starve yourself. Don't do a bunch of cardio. Ladies, if you want to build an ass, you want to get those curvy hips and legs, you got to get under some resistance. You got to break those muscles down. But if there's not a sufficient enough protein and nitrogen to build that muscle, you're going to be just spinning your tires. So hope you learned something from this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And if you've got any questions about protein or anything else, please leave me a comment below. And thank you for watching.